when you find yourself in a hole, the best thing you can do is stop digging. That was Warren Buffett, not me. Well, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today on the channel we are going to be talking about sunk cost fallacy, and as it pertains to anybody who is involved in the trading card game hobby, whether you be a player or a collector or an investor, I think there's something here for you. We're gonna go through a couple of examples of sunk cost fallacy as I have seen in the last couple of weeks in my own personal trading and my own personal collecting. And then we're gonna get into some ways to defeat sunk cost fallacy in your own walk, in your own enjoyment of the hobby. And then we're gonna also at the end talk about, what did I write down? Talk about 3 things that sunk cost fallacy can't cover. We're in this economic climate where things are just down across the board. The TCG industry, some things are down a little bit, some things down a lot, but across the board, most of us, unless you're involved in a few different areas, are down in the TCG industry. And so you look at your cards and you're like, man, I bought this for that, and I feel bad about it. I feel like I overspent. The other day I was trading with somebody, I was trying to work out this deal, and they reached out to me for a card that I had listed on a group, and they were like, hey, I've got a PSA 9 Charizard, or like a base set PSA, not Shadow, that's not first edition, just like a base set PSA 9 Charizard. They're like, hey, I would love to look at maybe doing a trade for what you have, whatever. I was like, yeah, I like Charizards, I like PSA 9s, that sounds great. So I started sending some comps, and he agreed on the comps. We used eBay sold, like 130 point or whatever. We used eBay sold listings, and I sent him some comps, like 3 or 4, all around the same price range. He's like, yeah, I agree on the price, but I spent about 3 times that amount, and so I'm not willing to go that low. And this is the sunk cost fallacy. This gentleman got involved in Pokemon, and he didn't love Pokemon. He just got involved because of the Logan Paul boom. And he paid 3 times higher for something, and now it's worth 3 times less. The sunk cost fallacy says, no, I can't let this go because then I am accepting a loss on the asset, in this case, a card that I purchased. But this is where I think we need to get a better handle of things in the TCG world. If you're gonna invest and trade or play TCGs, you need to figure out this sunk cost fallacy thing, because this gentleman didn't want what he had, and he wanted something that I had. And one of the beautiful parts of the trading card game world is that the cards are essentially cash, maybe cash minus 15%, right? Like, they have intrinsic value and they allow you to get the things that you want. But sunk cost fallacy basically says that due to loss aversion, we stick to the investment despite a clear change in the numbers and the narrative of that card or that box or that company. And so in this case, this guy wanted something that I had and didn't want something that he had, but wasn't willing to utilize the utility. Yeah, you go, he wasn't willing to utilize the card that he had in order to get something that he really wanted because of a price he paid 2 years ago. And so instead of trying to utilize that to get something, we try to regain the value by holding on for more time, and this keeps just going into the sunk cost fallacy. This gentleman could hold on to that Charizard for 3 more years, and it could stay the same price. In those 3 years, he could have utilized the value of his card in order to get something that he wanted, or something that he had educated himself on more that had a potential to go up if he was investing that way. So another interaction I had was actually myself. I bought this commander deck. It was about $450. It's an Alea artifact, like, flying creature thing. And I bought this deck and I played it like a couple times. I went on TCG Player and I bought the whole deck. That's just kind of how I do. I do like a mass. Anyway, I bought the deck and I started playing it. And I was like, ooh, I'm not having that much fun. I'm playing the deck and it's like, it's not that I'm losing or not winning or it's not that strong. It's just like, I just don't enjoy it that much. So I went home and I bought like another $200 worth of cards to trade in and out of it. I got the cards and I put them in the deck and I played the deck again. I was like, uh-oh, I still don't like this deck, but I've spent now $650 on it. So I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll upgrade the lands and I'll make them, a little bit more shiny. Maybe I'll enjoy that a little bit. But I'll also, add some artifacts and some better artifacts that tap for more mana to get my mana ramp. And then I'll put some bigger, like an Eldrazi or something like that in, and that will really help. So I put more money in it, and I still didn't enjoy it. And what I should have done is just stepped away from the deck and just stepped away and sold the cards and took a 15-20% fee loss on the deck and allowed myself to just move on from something rather than being so obsessed with it and so much that I just don't enjoy. So I sunk that cost in. Instead of just cutting my losses, I kept on piling on because I didn't know when to just walk away. So this whole video so far has been to give you a few small tips on how to utilize or avoid sunk cost fallacy when you're trading or playing or collecting. So number one, the value of your cards is not what you paid 2 years ago. The value of your cards is the market price today. Whatever somebody is willing to pay today, that is the value of your cards. And to be so caught up in what you missed in the past is to not be focused on what you could make in the future. And again, I'm not just talking about investment and money. I'm talking about maybe fun, right? Like if I wasn't so focused on that Alea deck, then maybe I'm missing out on some potential fun commanders that I'm missing out on in the future. To be so caught on is to miss the opportunity for your money to be put to use somewhere else that might give you more joy or a better return on your investment. And then in an economic downturn like this, there's no better opportunity to diversify than right now. So if you are one of those people who got caught up in the Pokemon bubble and you've lost, those people got wrecked. They have lost the Logan Paul boom of 2020 and whatever. They've lost a massive amount of money from that upturn. If you have not diversified away from that, because of the current economic downturn, this is like the best opportunity to get invested or even to pick up playing in all these different TCGs that exist. This is a great opportunity because people are looking to sell things or trade things or get rid of things as a result of them, gas being $4 a gallon. And so if you're looking to diversify, this is the best opportunity to do that, and you can still utilize some of the value engines that you have in order to do that. And I really believe on this channel, I believe that if you're going to, this is an opinion, but if you're going to invest in TCGs, you have to be diversified across the board, not just focus on just one TCG, but you have to be diversified. But then here's some things that the sunk cost fallacy can't cover. Number one is joy. It doesn't matter what you paid for something 2 years ago if it's still giving you joy now. There are things that I have purchased that I purchased as like, hey, this is me forever. This is, I bought a first edition base set Charizard a couple months ago. I traded for it, and that's something that will go straight to my daughter when I die, and my daughters when I die, and that's something that's never gonna go anywhere. That's something I've always wanted all my life. It doesn't matter what I traded for or paid for it, because honestly, I don't know what the value of it is today. It's just something that will forever be there because it gives me joy, and it's something that I always wanted to have. So don't try to play the game where you reduce your cost by selling something just so you can buy it back, it's something that you really love. Don't try to play the game where you try to reduce your cost by selling it and then buying it back and then selling it and buying it back, because if you miss out on that and you don't have it and it was something that gives you joy, maybe you can't get it back, and that's no good. The other thing is like cards for play, and I use the Alea deck as an example. But as an investment standpoint, just financial, this is more like time and energy and whatever, but as an investment standpoint, I never check the values of my commander decks. For me, like the cost now, or the benefit now, is the joy that I get from playing them, or the fun, or the memories, or the excitement with my friends that I get from playing them. So I'm not worried about the sunk cost of whatever I put into that deck, because the return isn't about the finances. The return is about the time and the quality of play and the energy and just the excitement that comes from playing the game. Then the last thing, and this is probably the most important thing that you'll ever hear me say on the channel, is never be afraid to take a loss. Never be afraid to sell something, and never be afraid to take a loss in order to provide for yourself in your personal life or your family. There's so much negativity towards selling sometimes in these trading card games, especially the smaller trading card games that have tighter knit communities. There's so much negativity towards selling things. Never, ever, ever let anything prevent you from providing for your family or yourself. If you need money and you're like, oh man, I have to take a $200 loss on this card in order to pay this bill or that bill. First off, you probably shouldn't be investing in TCGs if you're in that financial situation, but sometimes things come up, and sometimes things come up where you need to fund things in your life as a result of catastrophes, your basement floods, your whatever happens. So make sure you know that it's okay to take a loss in order to provide something that is much more important than the little cardboard rectangles that we all collect. So anyway, sunk cost fallacy. This was a different video for me. A lot of more technical stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Let me know what you think I missed or I need to add. Hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.